Hello, Watem here, welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. I'm still using the same settings as last time, so please let me know any feedback you have on it. For audio, microphone stuff, you know. Anyway, without any further ado, let us continue. If there'd been just one of them, I might have been able to drop kick them, something, and smash them in the head, which might work out, but it really would be impossible with three of them. Wait, three? If it's just three, I should be able to make it. I can do it! I recognize this sound effect. Hey, Calder jumped onto the van.
01より12確保したか。応答されたし。どうした。応答しろ。なんてやつだ。貴様。
It still free falls down. Ow, ow. See? That worked out perfectly, didn't it? It was just the three of them after all. I've already tried that once from a higher place. I knew I'd be able to jump down just 3 floors. It's a good thing the car that came in was right beneath me. Even if it wasn't as pleasant as trampoline, it broke my fall. A little gently, a little roughly.
失礼しちゃうわ。ここまでへこむこともないだろう。
oh, that's good. That's a good line. The roof of a car broke my fall, leaving a massive dent around my body. Car roofs are surprisingly delicate. I don't think it's because of my weight. Apparently, the 3 people on the stairs hadn't planned for me jumping down. It seemed they now realised that they'd been outwitted, and they were rushing down the stairs. I've got to run and escape while I have the chance. I moved my body, making clunking sounds on the car roof. But I'd been naive. Yeah, 4 people in the van? Of course they wouldn't all rush up the stairs without leaving one person behind. There was one black-suited man left in the driver's seat of the car that had broken my fall. He stuck his head out the window, and when he realised what had fallen on him, he jumped out. In a rush, I jumped off the roof, and the black-suited man's reaction was really fast. Either there was a massive reward for capturing me, or there'd be some harsh punishment in store for them if they let me get away.
15確保確保。
いたって気安く触らないで離して。
I was mercilessly held down against the asphalt. I was being crushed face down, covered and pressed upon from above. It was a hold without a trace of elegance, but it was extremely practical and left me no room for resistance. I tried to push back with both hands, searching for a way to resist. But I was being pushed down solidly, and I couldn't even tear myself off the asphalt. Then another car came, squealing its tyres as it slid to a sudden stop. Is it all over now? The man that had been crushing me let out a sharp cry. He was yelling straight into my ear, making my left ear ring. What in the world? Along with the black suit guy, I fell with a thunk. After landing face up, the first thing I saw was an arm stuck out right in front of my eyes.
天草、あんたどうしてここに？
その話は巻いてからにしましょうぜ。お嬢、車へ早く。
Amakusa grabbed my arm, easily pulled me up, spinning me around with himself as the centre of gravity. Just when I thought it was a little like a dance, he flung me through the open door into the driver's seat. I climbed over the handbrake and slid into the passenger seat. Pushing me in, Amakusa also got into the driver's seat. Since we suddenly accelerated while I was still on all fours, I had to kick and struggle around on the chair for a while, like a turtle that had been flipped over, or that's been flipped over. Amakusa checked the rear-view mirror for cars in pursuit, but he flew into the artery of a big city without lowering his speed in the slightest. Followed our way between cars one after another, just like a chase scene in some action movie. I was shaken by this horrible driving and had trouble sitting back down.
お嬢、お怪我は？
問題ないわ。人間って案外頑丈よ。私、次からは下りのエレベーターを逃したら窓から飛び降りることにするわ。
お嬢の趣味はエアダイブらしいや。ただ次からは落下傘をつけることをお勧めしますぜ。
Just always carry a parachute around.
飛び降りた後に思い出せたらね。
クー。
He smacked the steering wheel before him. Need an explanation for this flippantly talking man? Yes, please. His name is Samkusa Shusa. He was originally one of Aunt Eva's guards. Didn't she start to hate him because he chatted too much? He was much younger than the rest of the guards, but contrary to his outward flippancy, he'd hopped from the 1st Airborne of GSDF to the French Foreign Legion, placing himself in overseas private military companies and high-class security companies one after another, making for a pretty incredible and unique career. But I'd heard he deserted both the GSDF and the French Foreign Legion, and that he'll be arrested if he enters France again. Both of these flippant episodes are very typical of him. The guards were sternly told not to chat with me unnecessarily. But he came and took a pass at me, didn't he? Aunt Eva was apparently particularly put off by that, and had supposedly dismissed him shortly before she died.
その軽口が懐かしいわ。クビになった後はどうしてたの？
ブラックウォーターでエクササイズの指導を。休暇で帰国したらお好み社長に高給を提示されまして。
で、また脱走？こんな男、何の役に立つのかしら。
来週までに帰りゃ脱走にはなりませんので。話があったのは昨日です。お嬢が厄介な連中を呼び込むかもしれないと言われまして。
まさにその通りで申し訳ないわね。
お嬢と面識があってドタバタの経験も豊富ってことでご指名が来たんでしょうぜ。お嬢のおかげでハッピーな休暇と小遣い稼ぎになりそうです。
おこのぎさんがあんたを私の護衛に雇ったってこと？
お嬢に恩を売りたいんでしょうぜ。クビの後お好みの社長にはいろいろと世話になってましてね。いろいろと弱みを握られてんで逆らえんのですわ。
はあ、おこのぎさんの世話になると後々で高くつきそうね。で、あんたは私をどこに連れて行くつもりなの？
どちらへでも週末までは雇われてます。それ以降は別料金で。
1日いくら
5万で手を打ちます。経費は別ですぜ。
軽口を叩かないなら倍払うわ。雇用期間は未定。何週間かになるかも。
そりゃ大変だ。ボスに休暇の延長を電話しねえとなりませんぜ。
私どうしてもあの日のことが調べたいの。
ああ、例の六軒島の。
そうよ。12年前にあの島で何があったのか私の手で納得がいくように調べたいの。
Hey, what if Okanoki knows that Eva didn't do it because he was involved in it?
そんな昔のことを今さら調べて今さら新しい発見がありますかね。
そうね。だからこれは私の自己満足のための旅なのよ。それを終えたらネギでも背負ってスマデラの家に行くわ。かすみおばさん、私にお抹茶をご馳走したいとか言ってたっけ？角材の上に正座させられて石でも抱かされながらのお茶かしら。
そりゃおっかねえや。
Doesn't sound like we've got the character thing.
申し訳ございません。見失いました。
Oh, we do. A former guard of Evers, an extreme thrill seeker who accepts dangerous jobs for little pay. He'd served as Anje's bodyguard before, but after he broke Ever's strict order not to talk about to Anje countless times, Ever ultimately took a dislike to him and let him go. Anje herself didn't find him all that bad because he was someone she could talk to. SDF, Foreign Legion, private military companies. This man has travelled them all and has skills in counter-sniping and escorting VIPs.
仲間と思われる男が一人脱出を援護。スタンガン所持、運転技術その他から見て素人ではありません。
そう、ありがとう。残念よ、おこのぎ。これがあなたのお返事だということでよろしいかしら。
逃がしたのはあんたのヘマだ。俺の知ったこっちゃないね。
あなたにもぜひ今度お抹茶をご馳走したいわね。京都においでの際にはぜひお立ち寄りなさいな。行くわよ。
あれ、もう帰っちまうのかい？お茶漬けでも食っていけばいいのに。
What is that? I think it's going to be invisible. Known as Bubuzuke in Kyoto, where Sumadara Kasumi is from, is green tea poured over rice with savoury toppings. It is said that in Kyoto, offering chasuke to a guest is often not meant sincerely. It is merely a way of indicating in a roundabout fashion that it is time for the guest to leave, and the guest is expected to know when to refuse. Effectively, in this scene, Tetsuro brazenly steals a phrase from Kasumi's own cultural roots to tell her not to let the door hit her on the way out. With her back still facing Okunogi, she laughs softly, with an increasingly shrill and hateful tone, using that as a substitute for a sharp, parting remark. Just as she stopped laughing, her features suddenly changed to look like a demon's. Because her back was facing him, Okunogi couldn't see that expression. Okunogi watched her go, laughing coolly. The secretary whispered over his shoulder.
よろしいのですか？エンジェお嬢様は我が社の筆頭株主です。スマデラ家が後見人になれば。
知ってる。だがな、うちも天下の後ろ宮だ。舐められてたまるかってんだ。しかしあいつうまく立ち回ってくれたようだな。あとはエンジェちゃんの好きにさせるさ。
Now what is his plan?
頼むぜ天草。
霞様、逃走車両はレンタル、提示した免許証は偽装とのこと。明らかにプロです。おそらく車両は放棄するでしょう。追跡は困難です。警察に追わせますか？
そうね。家出娘の捜索願いでも出そうかしら。税金を納めてるんだもの。警察にもたまには役に立ってもらわなきゃ。母上に私にお任せをと啖呵を切ってお屋敷を出てきたんですよ。あなた、私にさらに恥をかかせるおつもり？あんたらまとめてお抹茶を振る舞った方が良さそうね。地下のお茶室は狭いから順番待ちの行列になっちゃうかしら。
全力で捜索します。
ああ、本当に可愛い子ね。姉さんに本当にそっくり。自分勝手で自由奔放なあたりが本当にそっくり。ああ、もう姉さんにしか見えなくなってきたわ。本当に楽しみよ。姉さんの娘をお茶室にお招きできるなんてね。
スマデラ家、動きが早かったわね。私、お好みさんに売られた？
ご冗談を。俺のクライアントですぜ。お嬢を売ったなら俺を雇ったりはしませんぜ。
それもそうね。
And yet, you apparently invited her, so what is he playing at?
ああ、だから3階でエレベーターを降りたんですか。
地下駐車場に車が待ってるなんて、手際が妙に良すぎたから。お好みさんに売られたかもしれないって思って。駐車場に待ち伏せがいたかどうかは、今となっては証明不能だけどね。
なるほどね。社長め、気の毒に。お嬢に信用されてないらしい。その地下の車って俺のことです。
え？天草のことだったの？
着いたエレベーターが空だったんで焦りましたぜ。連中の無線を盗聴できてなきゃ今頃どうなってたやら。
つまり何？私が素直にお好みさんを信じて駐車場に行ってれば、私は3階から飛び降りるなんて真似する必要もなかったってこと？
Maybe you would have gotten intercepted still.
そうなりますな。ま、結果オーライですがね。
What the hell? If I hadn't suspected President Tokunogi, I could have easily escaped without getting caught in a tough spot. President Tokunogi might have sold me out. No, since Paranoia told me that it was better to assume that he'd sold me out, I supposed and concluded that he sold me out. It was my inability to believe in him, regardless of his truth. My truth became, he sold me out. Well, apparently he did though, but just also wanted you to escape? Why? I thought back on President Okunogi's words. Can you really call truth without certainty truth? Truth can change completely depending on whether you have love or not. In the end, perhaps truth itself doesn't exist. There are as many interpreted truths as there are people who speak of the truth. I can't accept something that fluid is truth. Where does the truth that I really want to find exist? And is it something I'll be able to see with my eyes? Even if someone sticks the truth right up there in front of me and says it's the truth, I might not be able to see it.
愛がなければ見えないか。あなたのかけらは随分と賑やかね。退屈しないわ。あなたは言ったわ。12年前の真実を探れと私に命じた。でもなんだかわからなくなってしまった。何が？真実って何？人の数だけ真実がある。人の数だけ解釈がある。そしてそれは主観によって歪められ、いくらでも姿を変える。真実ってものはそんなにも不定形であやふやなものなの？そうよ。真実は不定形。粒子のようであり、波のようでもあり、相反する形状を同時に持つ。
It depends. It depends on what it's about, what the statement is. Whether proofs can be fixed or not.
箱の中の猫が生きていると思うが死んでいると思うが自由。でも真実はとても繊細。それは観測されただけで姿を変えてしまうわ。シュレディンガーの猫箱とかいう話？寝言よ。箱を開ければ真実はわかる。
Yep. Which is actually the whole point of Schrodinger's he was trying to disprove quantum theory at the time. We're observing a particle. It either and then it decides how it acts after it, well, when it gets observed. Yeah, and then going on, bringing up the cat's box where it's, I mean, the cat could be alive or dead, and so until you observe it, it's both alive and dead, and that's nonsense. And yes, it is nonsense. That's the point. However, it turns out that quantum stuff doesn't really behave the same way as normal stuff. Yeah. So you get things like, there's really bizarre stuff with once you get into quantum physics where it appears that it can retroactively choose whether to be a particle or a wave. So previous events can be affected by the selection. The experiments that they do to show all this is all very, very complicated. Yeah, weird. Yeah, it's just quantum weird.
開ける前の議論なんて机上の空論もいいところ。
Yeah, the point being, if you have a cat in the box, and it's 50-50 if it's alive or dead, it's going to be either alive or dead. It's not going to be in a superposition of two. Yeah.
そうね。
Things above a certain mass can't be both particle and or can't behave like waves. Well, at the very least, theoretically, their wavelength is less than a Planck length. So then, it doesn't really have meaning. Have a wavelength.
にもかかわらず、その空論を否定するには箱を開ける必要がある。開けられない箱の中身についてのあらゆる想像は否定不能。
Yeah.
つまりは真実ということ。
I mean, you can negate some ideas about the contents of a box. For example, you can reason that the contents of a box will not be larger than the box.
真実は否定されない限りその形状を維持する。
Or I suppose someone could argue that maybe there's some kind of space expansion effect within the box, and yeah. And that becomes more complicated to deny, because then you need to deny being able to do space expansion within a box.
そう。真実は観測されない限りその形状を維持する。つまり暴けなきゃどんな妄言も真実たり得るわけね。
No.
ええ、無限の想像はそれらが互いに矛盾していたとしても否定されず同時に真実として存在できる。
Thinking about it, especially since we've been talking about quantum physics, interestingly enough, we use quantum physics, and it's a really good model of small things on a small scale. We also use Einstein's relativity. That's a really good model of things at a very large scale. We use both of these models at the same time, or not exactly at the same time, but we do currently use both of these models. The issue being, we've also shown mathematically that these two models can't coexist. So, yeah. Also, gravity is weird. Out of all the forces, that one's the weirdest.
家族みんなが六軒島の魔女に囚われて永遠に12年前に閉じ込められているというめちゃくちゃな話すら12年前に何があったかわからない限り真実として存在できる。ベアトリーチェという魔女は12年前の六軒島に無限の想像の余地をこじ開けそこを猫箱として全てを飲み込んだ。開かれぬ箱の中の全ては真実。
I wouldn't say it's truth. I would say it's unknown. You don't know the truthiness of it. it will be either true or false. You just don't know what it is yet. Yeah. I mean, there are some things where you cannot assign a truthiness to it, but that, like, you can't say that it is true or false. It's neither of the two, because contradictions and stuff. But at that point, it's not true. So you can't say that everything inside the box, unopened box, is truth. That's right. You don't know what happened on that island, so it becomes endless.
閉まったままならね。私がこじ開ければいいだけの話。でも、その箱は12年前に閉じられ、どこにあるのかもわからない。
How about you head over to Rockin'
仮に六軒島に訪れたとしても、私は荒れ果てた島で12年前の何を知ることができるというの？
When it's start?
さあ、何を知ることができるのかしら。いずれにせよそれは1998年という12年後の未来を自由に闊歩できる。
Maybe you can find, find the solution to the riddle. Find the gold. Maybe there's some clues there. I was also thinking, drawing parallels between Umineko and Higurashi here. Higurashi episode 4, chapter 4, the last of the question arcs, was set years before all the other games. 6 years, I think? Because they're in the 5th year in Higurashi, and most of Higurashi, and then chapter 4 was the year before the first year. Well, I guess 5 years. But in any case, what was it? But yeah, and so now in Umineko chapter 4, episode 4, we're 12 years in the future. Dead.
最後の魔女、エンジェ・ベアトリーチェにしかできないことよ。ベアトリーチェのゲーム版は1986年10月4日から5日の2日間。
Well, I guess both of them have Bernkastel slash Rika being weird.
つまりそれは、あなたが彼女のゲーム版の外へ自在に動ける駒だということ。そして、ベアトリーチェですら、このゲーム版を超えた未来へは干渉できない。
そうやって言われると、私ってかなり優秀でずるい駒だわ。
あなたが身を置く12年後という未来は確かに遠いわ。しかし、駒は未来に位置すれば位置するほど強い力を持つの。言ったでしょ。真実は観測されると姿を変えると。
So this is a distance that has
そう
been
いえ
observed.
ば、こんな話を聞いたことがあるわ。ある日突然、ケンタウルス座の恒星が爆発してしまっても、その爆発の光が地球に届くには 4.4 光年だから4年半の月日が必要になる。
そうね。つまり、ケンタウルスの太陽がすでになくなっているとしても、地球人は4年半の間、その事実を知覚できない。
Sure.
光より早く知覚する手段は存在しないのだから。
That we know of. Now, traveling faster than the speed of light, yeah, that's... Okay, so... moving faster than the speed of light is impossible, certainly. There is some distinctions that you can make, though. So the idea of an Okbier drive where you're expanding and contracting space around you, you're not actually... So you're effectively traveling faster than the speed of light. However, you are not moving faster than the speed of light. It's the important distinction, which gets to the theoretically possible, but then also energy requirements get weird, and so possibly not theoretically possible. It's in a grey zone there, but also there is ways of making something look like it's going faster than the speed of light, by not actually going faster than or by not actually moving in a way. So, for example, if you were to point a laser at the sky, and let's say someone observes it a light year away, as you very slightly change the angle, that's going to result in a very large movement in the beam, your laser beam, 1 light year away. And so, from their perspective, it will seem like it's moving faster than the speed of light. For propagation, it's going faster than the speed of light. The travelling of the beam is going faster than the speed of light. However, the beam itself isn't going from left to right. The beam is originating from the source and then travelling outwards. So that travelling is going at the speed of light. However, where it reaches changes faster than the speed of light. So, yeah. That is a thing. Also, going back to quantum stuff, quantum entanglement is weird. And so it's possible that you can break locality, I think the property is. Again, one of the things that we've shown, quantum stuff and relativity don't mesh. They've got contradictions in there. In any case, I hope you've enjoyed my sidetrack into quantum stuff. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. Hope you've all enjoyed, and so until next time, see ya.